Already mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me go to my main camera. Already we're live. And as you guys can tell by the thumbnail, today I'm going to be going over UMG and Unreal Engine 5 using C++. I have been doing this for the past bunch of streams, but I feel like I don't want to move forward before I don't understand UMG because I feel like I will be needing UMG in my further on projects type stuff. Let's go to my gameplay screen. And guys, this is the chat from last stream as well. Let's say something like, hiding pixels, I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, that's it. Let's say something like, let's say I'm live exclamation. Okay, and guys, if I can't talk properly, that is because I'm not warmed up just yet. Okay, let's go and eat something. Actually, drink something as well. Guys, today instead of like black coffee, I'm trying hibiscus tea. Because guys, I feel this is actually much better. Okay, that's it. Good, you're live. Straighten your back. Clear your mind and lock in people. Today is not about perfection, it's about showing up and wrestling the engine until it respects you. Unreal doesn't obey talent, it obeys consistency. You already did hard things, you mixed C++ with UMG, you fought blueprint visibility, you made buttons talk to code, you hit walls and you didn't burn. That's how skill is forged, not by tutoring, not by tutorial being watched, by confusion, clarity, confidence. Okay, now I am cry. Why you gotta cry, Pixels? Okay, quote for the stream. The master has failed more times than the beginner has ever tried, said by Anonymous. Guys, I think I know who said that. I forgot the name though. Now, no rambling, no distractions. Tell me what we're working on right now and we continue the fight. Okay, let me say something like, today I want to continue the UMG where, when I click my button, I exit the window. I'll try to do that on my own first and ask you for help if I messed up. ... Okay, let's see. That's it. Let me go ahead and open my Unreal Engine here. And guys, this is like a new project from the Unreal Engine. Brother, I spilled water in the PC, to be honest. Water in the PC, guys, that's actually awful. Okay, is it like in the keyboard or like the actual PC? Did it like mess it up or something? Okay, that's it. Let me go ahead and decrease my floor first because for some reason I prefer like decreasing my floor's size. Okay, let's go ahead and shrink it up a bit. There we go. Okay, now let's go ahead and get this back here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and add a few UMGs, but to do that, I gotta go to my content drawer. Inside my content drawer, I'm gonna go to my contents folder and let's say create a new folder. I'm gonna go ahead and call this something like UI because this is where all my basic game UIs are gonna be going. That said, let me go ahead and load in a few other folders as well. These are like my blenders with FBX5, FBX files, QLB, is that how we spell it? Yeah, QLB files, add some of my game items, which is basically my PNGs. I'm gonna go ahead and load that all real quick. Okay, let's get my chat up here again. Okay, perfect. That said, once I'm done loading all this thing, I'm gonna go ahead and close these, close all my UIs, there we go. I'm gonna open my UIs folder, right click, okay, it's saving, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and right click here, go to let's say something like user interface, and then scroll down till I don't find blueprint widget. Once I find that, I'm gonna go ahead and click my blueprint widget. Okay, I guess let's go to all classes, let's go with something like user widget. There we go, I'm gonna go ahead and open a user widget. Okay, I'm gonna call this something like WVP underscore, I don't know, maybe exit button, because I want to create an exit button. I might go with overlay first. Let's go with something like overlay. Okay, perfect. Hi, hiding Tim, I appreciate you joining the stream. How are you doing? Sartha, I appreciate you joining the stream as well. Okay, how are you doing? Honestly, I'm doing pretty good actually. I feel pretty confident with the UMG topic, and guys, I can't wait to wrap it up and move on to the next concept. That said, once I'm done adding a UMG here, actually adding a blueprint here, I'm going to double click it and open it up here. Okay, now let's go ahead and actually create something. Let me actually get this in my window here. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and create a UMG. To do that, firstly, I want to go ahead and load a canvas panel because basically this is like the place where we actually draw stuff. Maybe I like decrease the size a little. There, that should be good. Now, once I'm done getting a canvas panel, I'm going to go ahead. Maybe I want to go with Control Z. Okay, because I think I like the bigger canvas panel. There. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say search for buttons. Okay, let's go ahead and add a button to my canvas panel because I do want to like, have a bunch of buttons that I click to exit my window and do different stuff. Have you done Unity before? I can do Unity, but not Unreal Engine. honestly, I did not like start Unity. I actually wanted to like go with Unity, but since I started C++, I realized that Unreal Engine supports C++ and not C Sharp like Unity, because we need to learn like C Sharp for learning Unity. That's it. Maybe let me drink some hibiscus tea. It's honestly a bit salty. Actually, not salty, like sour. Okay, let's go ahead and extend this a bit here. But I want my overlay to be small, so I'm gonna decrease the size here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and extend my details panel. Under my details panel, I'm firstly gonna, let's say, set an image. So I got a file style. Okay, do you guys see style somewhere? There we go. If I were to go ahead and click style, under style, I see normal, how it press disabled, and a bunch of options. I'm gonna go under normal, and then let's go ahead and load a button in. I'm gonna go ahead and load one of my PNGs. I'm gonna go with something like yellow button. There we go. Oh wait, my bad guys, not a yellow button. I'm gonna go with something like red overlay. Okay, this is a PNG as well, but let's go with something like red overlay. There we go. Okay, because I like to have my buttons above an overlay, and guys, I feel like this might not look, I mean, I won't say it looks bad. I spent a lot of time making this. Okay, maybe I go ahead and get that a picture. Alright, perfect. This should be pretty good. Let's go ahead and increase the size from there. There we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and load a few more buttons. So inside my canvas panel, I'm gonna go ahead and drop another button. Then let's get that here. And now I'm gonna go ahead and maybe increase it a little from here. There we go. And then let's set a image for it. I'm gonna go ahead and set it to be yellow button. What game are you making currently? Because I've only been watching for a few days now. Honestly, I did like start a program for like 250 day series, where my goal by the end of the series is to make a game in general that consists of AI logic in it. But I didn't start with the AI logic, but I'm just working on the actual game interface type stuff, like how am I going to actually work with Unreal Engine, because for the time being, I am just using C++. Later on, when I start with my AI logic, I will be trying to implement Python and C++ in the same project, that makes any sense. Python for the AI logic and C++ for the basic game logic. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and extend my button. Does it look good? Okay, I mean, I think this looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and load another button here. Maybe instead of loading another button, let me just select that, delete that. I might go with something like Control D to duplicate. And let's duplicate it once more. I'm gonna go ahead and get that second button here and my third button here. Okay, perfect. Now I have 3 buttons and they have 3 different jobs to do. Okay, for my first button, I'm gonna go ahead under my, let's say something like tint. I want to go ahead and set my tint to be something like 1. You guys would like see the immediate difference that becomes much brighter than these buttons. Okay, what programming language do you do and what's your dream university? Honestly, let's see. I did learn like Python and like C++. Those are the 2 programming languages that I do know. I haven't like thought of a dream university. I wanted to go to oh wait guys, I almost said what university I want to go to. Never mind, I don't think I can say that. Howdy, Dr. Sleep, I appreciate you joining the stream. Howdy, Nicole, I appreciate you joining the stream as well. Hi, bro, do you remember me? Honestly, I do remember you. Okay, that's next up. Let's go under my, let's say something like Howard. So, under my Howard, the reason okay, let me actually show you guys why I'm going under my Howard. So, if I were to go ahead and compile this for the time being, go to my Untitled and click the Blueprints option here. Open my level in Blueprints. I won't be needing ticks because ticks comes with time. I just need my begin play. Once my game begins, I want to go ahead and create a widget on my window. So I'm going to go ahead and create a widget. Let's set this widget to be my WBP overlay, which is my overlay's name. Then I'm going to go ahead and drag off my return value and type something like, I forgot, what did I want to type? Viewport, because I want to add it to my viewport. So I'm going to go with add to viewport. And that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and compile this. Now, if I were to run the code, let's see what happens. So I see my overlay on my window, but when I hover over it, I see like these white boxes. I don't want that. To fix that, okay, have you gone through documentation / tutorials? I mean, maybe like a little, because like yesterday I thought I would go over like way more documentation tutorial than I actually thought to, but I feel like the docs wasn't that helpful because I couldn't figure out how to like actually read it type stuff. But I did like watch 1 or 2 tutorials. Mostly I did like watch my stream yesterday because like I feel like I did get this to work once in my stream, so I'm trying to like figure it out without any help first. If I messed up, then I would go on and get some help. Okay, making UI. Honestly, I am working in UI. Okay, let's see now. I want to go ahead and fix my hover. Firstly, I'm going to go to my button one and let's say go over my hover's icon here, and let's say I'm going to go with something like hover. There we go. I'm going to add my red overlays of image here. The same exact image as my normal image. So when I hover over it, I won't be seeing like a white box here. That's let's see. I might go to tint. Let's change my tint to be something like 1, 1, and 1. Okay, perfect. And then let's change my hover tint to be 1, 1, and 1 as well. Okay, let's go to something like button. Okay, I'm going to go to my tint here. Let's change that to something like 1, 1, and 1. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm going to do the same exact thing for my buttons. So, under my hovers button, I'm going to go ahead and click this. Go with something like my yellow button. Okay, and I will leave the tint to be a bit tan because when I hover over my buttons, I want their color to be a bit darker than the usual color. Okay, then I'm going to go here and type something like yellow. Let's add my yellow button here as well. And lastly, let's add my yellow button here as well. Okay, now if I were to compile the code real quick, go to my project, run the code. If I hover over them, nothing happens. But if I hover over my button, their color is a bit more tinted. Okay, looks good. Honestly, it does sound kind of cool. Shift plus LMB and my bad. And MB can be used as a copy paste in Unreal. Oh, I see. Okay, so like go over normal and do it. Go over hover paste. Oh, I didn't actually know that. I might try that. Okay, that's it. Now that I have my UMG here, I want to add a few functionalities for it. So I'm going to go ahead and exit this. Now, to actually add functionalities, I got to go ahead and create a C++ class. So I'm going to click Tools. I'm going to create a new class. Let's go to All Classes. I want to find a user widget. Let's go with something like user widget. There we go. I'm going to click my user widget. Hit something like Next. Name it something like I don't know, maybe something like my overlay widget. Let's go with something like overlay widget. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and create a class. That's honestly about it. Also, I'll suggest you to change the draw type to image rather than rounded box to remove that white border. Oh, I might actually try that. What up, guys? Because I did like hear a bunch of tutorials say that they converted the round box to be like image. I did not try that much. So let me try that. Before I do try that, I want to reload all. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and exit this. Now I have my header files and my C++ file for my widget. I'm going to open my Unreal Engine again. Go to something like untitled, maybe overlay widget. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and click my box. I'm going to change rounded box to something like image. Let's change rounded box to image. And lastly, let's change rounded box to image and image. Okay, perfect. This actually looks so much better. Let's compile and run the code real quick. Okay, this is actually much better. It's like when I hover over them, I can see the boxes. Okay, perfect. Guys, does this even look symmetrical? Okay, let's go ahead and exit this for the time being. Now comes the trickier part. Inside my C++ file, I gotta go ahead and add content that every time I click my button, I quit my program or I quit my game. To do that, I'm firstly gonna start off by including, let's say, something from my Kismet library. So I'm gonna go with something like Kismet. Okay, Kismet slash Kismet. Guys, I just started working with this library yesterday, so I don't know much all the functions are like syntax that it has. Okay, let's go with something like Kismet system library .h. Okay, perfect. This is basically Kismet's helper library and its system libraries' header files. lib. I think I spelled library wrong. Okay, perfect. Now, KISMETSYSTEM. Did I spell this correct? Let me go here. Hit something like shift space for IntelliSense. Oh wow. Okay, no IntelliSense, I guess. I forgot the library name. Let's think. Maybe I go to Google and type something like Kismet library. Okay, let's go ahead and get this here real quick. Guys, this is like a public library. Hold up. Let's go ahead and exit that real quick. Okay, that's let's see. Maybe I get sensei/ChatGPT up here. I'm pretty sure I used this library somewhere up here. Okay, let's scroll all the way up here because I forgot the library name because I've just used it like once. That is okay, so it's KISMET. Okay, Kismet system library .h. I did it correct, honestly. Okay, bro, how to make YouTube live streams more, could you please suggest me to start a stream? Honestly, the thing that I would suggest you is like not to be perfect when you start a stream, because many people, they like do the mistake of being like perfect every single stream. That exhausts yourself. So like I would recommend to do your best every single stream though, but then don't focus much on like perfection. Like the lighting must be perfect, the camera must be perfect, everything else must be perfect. You gotta wear like proper clothes and like speak in the proper manner. So I would recommend not to do that and like focus on your niche, because like the more you focus on the stuff you're going to be doing, the better you eventually get. Started. Can you teach me C programming? Started from the beginning. Honestly, I haven't learned C, but I might make tutorials on C++. Okay, Kismet system library. I see. Let's go with something like system. Okay, perfect. System library.h, which is the Kismet's library and its header files. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and publicalize everything inside my header files. Let's say I want to go ahead and create a Unreal function, so I'm going to go with something like a U function, because I want to create a function that actually exits my window. I want it to be blueprint callable because I want my blueprint to have access of my functions and be able to read it. So I'm going to go with something like callable. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and function. I think I had a typo here. There we go. Okay, U function. Okay, blueprint callable. Okay, perfect. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to go with something like a void function called something like on, let's say something like on play button pressed. I'm going to go with something like, maybe I go with something like on exit button pressed. On exit button pressed. Okay, this is my function name. I'm going to add a pair of parentheses ending with a semicolon. So this is basically my function. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control S to save the code. And then let's open my overlay widgets. Now, inside my overlay widgets, again, I'll suggest same try JetBrains Writer if you're studying in college. If you're using mail to access JetBrains Suite for softwares, they're much better. I see. Honestly, what's the difference between JetBrains and like Epic? Because I did like download my Unreal Engine from like the Epic Sys game. Is that what it's called? Let me actually check what it's called real quick. Okay, yeah, it's called Epic Games Launcher. Okay, bro, do you use any other tool to reach more audience on YouTube? Honestly, I don't use anything special. All I do is just stream every single day. That's it. Let's see. So I go ahead and include something. Now, I'm going to go ahead and define the function that I created inside of my header file. So I'm going to go with something like a void function for my hue overlay widget. Let's go with something like hue overlay widget. Then I'm going to use a scope resolution operator. Okay, overlay. There we go. Hue overlay widget. Then I use a scope resolution operator and point towards my on exit button pressed. Okay, perfect. May I know what app you're using for UI designing? Honestly, I am like using UMGs, which is basically Unreal's UI maker, if that makes any sense. Like if I would open my Unreal Engine here, go to my overlay here. This is my blueprints up here, but I create my UIs here. Like I created a canvas panel and a bunch of buttons, and then I did like add, like how my button should look. I added an image here, and then I added a tint when I hover over it, what I wanted to see type stuff. That's it. Let's go back to my project here, and then let's open my Visual Studio. Now, on exit button pressed, I want to do something. Is my function name correct? Maybe I go ahead and change this to something like on play button pressed. Okay, because usually it does the... Okay, I don't know if this green underline on play button pressed not found. Void function definition for on play. Hold up, guys. Let me actually mute myself real quick. I think there's some background noise. Already mic testing. Alright, back, guys. I thought there was some background noise going on. That's it. Let's see. So on play button pressed. Am I messing something up here? Okay. Oh, it's for Unreal app only. Honestly, it is just for Unreal because like I did actually learn how to like complete a publishing app or something like that. I'm just working on the logic to understand how it actually works and how the programming part works. That said, maybe let's get some things like ChatGPT here. Now in my header files. So. Okay, I'm pretty sure to need that part. Let me scroll all the way up here. Okay, because I forgot the coding, like I forgot what code do I add here. I did like work on it like very little last stream. Okay, so this is my C++ in my header files. So, Okay, let's go all the way up to my header files. Again, guys, this is the chat from last stream. That's why I do have a few reference codes here. Okay, firstly, don't start streaming to reach, do it to build consistency like this guy did. That actually does make sense. Like, many people, they do the mistake to, like, just start streaming to get audience, and that's where their most attention goes towards, like, how do I get more audience and everything. I would say first build trust and all that stuff. That's it. So blueprint callable, and then void on play button clicked. Okay, these are the basic functions that I created. Okay, then in my C++, so let's scroll all the way down here. Okay, in my C++ file, okay, there we go. In my C++ file, I add a UE log, that's optional, and then I create a world's pointer that gets my world, and I check if my world returned null PDR. I want to exit my whole program that avoids a crash, and then from my A player controller, I create a PC's pointer. Okay, then my world's pointer point towards the get first player controller. If my PC returned null PDR, I go ahead and return which avoids a crash. Then I use the ukismet libraries quit games function. World PC, okay, equit preference is gonna be quit. Okay, and that's like pretty much it. So I think I did everything correct up till here. Guys, I think this is just my editor. Okay, attach a button to the overlay and then use that button. And use that button's click functionally. I see. Honestly, I did like actually do that. Okay, that's it. Let's go with something like I want you overlay on exit button pressed. I want to go ahead and do something. Firstly, I want to go ahead and this is optional, but I might want to add UE log. Let's go with the UE log. I want to check if my button actually was clicked. So I'm going to go ahead and set my category to be something like log temp. So there we go. The second parameter is going to be a verbosity, which is what kind of text do I want to send? I want to send a warning text, which is basically going to be yellow. Okay, and then the third and final parameter is going to be a format string, which in this case, I'm going to go ahead and add a text that is going to say something like button clicked. Okay, this is going to tell me the code actually worked. Okay, has no parameter. U overlay class has no member. Okay, on exit button pressed. It has no member on exit button. Oh, this is a play button. Let's copy that. Let's go ahead and paste this here. There we go. Okay, so on play button pressed, I want to go ahead and do that. And then once I'm done adding a UE log, I want to go ahead and let's say create a U world. Okay, which is going to be represented by a world's pointer. That is going to be equal to get world. Basically, what the get world's function is in charge of is it like, looks, what do I want to actually exit? Because I could use my exit button in like multiple different platforms. For example, exit my window, exit this exact menu button and all that stuff. The U world or my world's pointer points towards exactly which place is my exit button located at. If it's located in my menus section, I exit my menu. If it's located in my game exits section, I exit that. Okay, if that made any sense, guys. Quotes and the code no one can make, but sometimes you can choose to cut, copy, and paste. Happy coding. I see that actually does sound kind of cool. Okay, that's it. Now once I'm done creating a world's pointer, I'm gonna go ahead and add a if statement to check something like if not world, if my world returned null PDR. Instead of crashing my program, I want to exit my function, so I return. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add another pointer for my player controller. So I'm going to go with something like a player controller. Okay, which is going to be represented by a pointer for PC, which stands for player controller, is a short form. I'm going to go ahead and set that equal to, let's say my world pointing towards, so let's see, I think it was something like get player controller. Okay, let's go with something like get player. Okay, I think, so guys, I forgot the function name. It's get first player controller. There we go. Okay, then I'm going to go with a pair of parentheses, ending with a semicolon. And then once I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and add another if statement, which checks my PC / my player controller did not return null PDR. If it did return null PDR, instead of crashing my program, I'm going to go ahead and return which exits my entire function. Okay, that's like pretty much it. Now, from my ukismet's library, I'm going to, let's go with something like system library. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the quit games function with a pair of parentheses. Now my quit games function requires a few parameters. The first is gonna be my U object, which is my world constant object. Okay, it's my U object. I'm assuming that's my world, so I'm gonna go with something like world's pointer. The second parameter is going to be a player controller. That is my PC. So I'm going to go ahead and add my PC's this pointer here as well. Honestly, what's your favorite dish? Okay, I actually like oats with black coffee, but guys, I'm starting to like the hibiscus tea as well. I feel like it's kind of cool. That's sad. The reason I actually love oats is because like it keeps me energized for like so long. Okay, that's it. Let's see. Now, once I go with PC, let's see the third parameter. The third parameter is going to be equit preference. So I'm going to go ahead and add my quitting preference. So let's go with something like equit preference. There we go. Had to make sure my spelling is correct, guys. Did I still mess it up? Okay, there we go. I'm going to go with something like shift space. Let's go with something like quit. This is my type. Okay, and then I'm going to go with a pair of parentheses. Is this a function? Does this function require a parameter? Okay, it does not require a parameter, so I'm just assuming I go with something like quit. And lastly, my fourth parameter is going to be a boolean, which I am going to be setting it to false. What was it called? It's called ignore platform restrictions. I don't want to ignore platform restrictions. And then I go ahead and exit this with a semicolon. Just for it to look better, I might actually get these in a new line. There we go. Okay, now once I'm done with that, let's see, is there anything else that I might need? Maybe not. Maybe I go ahead and check the reference if I missed something. Okay, I did not miss anything. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and hit something like Control S to save the code, Control S to save the code. Now, before I actually run the command again, I gotta go ahead and add a few settings for my WBP overlay. For example, I want my overlay widget to be the parent class of my WBP overlay, so they both actually can have access to each other. That makes any sense? To do that, let's see. I actually forgot how to do that. Firstly, I gotta convert this to be a variable. Next up, I gotta go to my graph, and then let's go to something like class settings. I am in my class settings for my button. Okay, I have button here. I am in the class settings. Then I'm gonna go ahead and find something like, let's go with something like parent. Okay, I do not see a parent here unless I'm already seeing it somewhere. So I am in class settings. I see a parent class here in case you guys couldn't see it. There we go. So I see let's get this here. There we go. Now my parent class is gonna be my user widget. This is the widget that I actually create, my overlays widget. Okay, that should be pretty much it. I'm gonna go back to my designer first. Let's compile, and then I go back to my designer. I have a new button. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so now this is called like a button 144. I'm gonna go to something like my search bar in my details, type something like events. I gotta go ahead and add a event for on clicked. If my button is clicked, I want to do something. I want to go ahead and link my on play button pressed function with my on clicks event. Let's go ahead and search for the on play button. On play button. Okay, here's the thing. Why do I not see it? I saw it the first time I coded. The first time I wrote the code, I could see the button. I don't see it anymore for some reason. Okay, this is on play button pressed. I did everything correct. Okay, what the hell is this? What the hell is Guy Bin Oats doing? Honestly, guys, I feel like I am like eating oats right now. That's sad. Maybe let me jog my memory real quick. While I'm at it, let me go back to sensei/ChatGPT here. Let's see the reference code real quick. Okay, because I think I did everything correct, but it's still wrong, which means I might have a typo. I probably had a typo. Let me go ahead and check this part real quick. So I have a U class, generated body. It's gonna be blueprint callable. This is the part that's important here, because if it's not blueprint callable, and it's public, if it's not blueprint callable, that means my blueprint can have access of it. It is correct. Okay, what if I were to go back up here? Let's go ahead and just copy this part, even though everything is like literally the same. I'm gonna go ahead and paste this down here real quick. Okay, so I see something like a U class, and then my project 3 API, but this is gonna be just my project because that's my project's name. And then you overlay widget, you user widget, okay, generate body, public, you function. Okay, on play button pressed. Everything is correct actually. Really upholding the Emperor of Oath's name, lol. Guys, the Emperor of Oath's name, lol, is kind of crazy. Okay, so you Smith system library, everything is correct here. Okay, it's all correct here as well. Then why do I not see my buttons' name here? Okay, because I'm positive like I got it last stream. Like last stream, I did see my button name here. Okay, I am the child of my class, so if I go to class settings, user widget is my child. What if I go with something like overlay widget? Let's try finding something like overlay widget. What if I go ahead and be the child of my overlay widget? Let's go ahead and get this up here. Let's go ahead and type something like on button to... Okay, set member action. Let's go with something like on play button. Bye bye guys, let's go with something like on play button. I still don't see it. Okay, like let me go ahead and exit this. Maybe I'm gonna go ahead and open my previous stream real quick on YouTube to let's see. Because guys, this was like my last stream. Hold up, let me actually get ChatGPT up here. Now let's go ahead and get this here because it's much easier. If I were to go to something like my playlists and go to my Unreal Engine 5's playlist, for example, maybe I want to go to my vertical stream, not like my horizontal. I mean, both are the exact same. Okay, there. Let's go ahead and load up. And guys, yeah, I was watching my stream yesterday because I wanted to like understand how this part works. Maybe I zoom in a bit more. There we go. Let's try to figure that part. Because like here, like if I were to power this part. Okay, let's see. Hold on, guys. And this is a fun part because like I won't be getting a copyright because this is like my own stream. Okay, why is it loading? Okay, let's go ahead and click this part. Wait, guys, did I wear the exact same shirt last stream? I thought that I changed my shirt today. I'm positive I did. Okay, let's go ahead and scroll a bit here. Because I'm positive it worked last stream. Let's go all the way back there. Okay, let's go here. Okay, let me go ahead and change this part. There we go, right here. So, let me go ahead and change my quality to like 1080p as well. Okay, on begin play, I created a class. Although this wasn't the part that I was looking for. Okay, I have my buttons here. And then I go here. I create a new class up there. Okay, this is going to be a user widget class. Okay, both has some kind of code to it. So let's go all the way here. Okay, let's see if my Kismet's spelling is correct. So, okay. Hi doing, Tanya. I appreciate you joining the stream. Button clicked and not pressed. Honestly, button click and not pressed. Do you do lead code? Honestly, I used to do. I mean, whatchamacallit? I've been holding myself back for a long time from doing lead code because I wanted to like have a specific stream for doing lead code. That said, like it worked last stream. Like if I were to go here. Okay, I'm pretty sure it didn't take this long. Wait, this is my last. Is this my last stream? Guys, today is my stream like 113. What's the day 113? Pretty sure actually this is on button pressed. Okay, let's go ahead and forward a bit. Okay, let's see. It was not this far ahead, right? Okay, I'm pretty sure it was like in the first 20-ish minutes. Okay, let's go all the way up here. There we go. So I created blueprint class here. I go ahead and do that. I go ahead and add stuff here. Guys, I'm trying to find the part where I actually went to my parent class. Okay, so this is the part, okay, in my untitled. But this isn't this to like display it on the viewport. This is for it to display on the viewport. It is displayed on the viewport, and then I go ahead, I fix my hover as well. So let's go ahead and fix my hover. Okay, and then I create a new C++ class. Guys, I hate the buffering here. Okay, maybe let me drink some tea. Okay, everything is set to image. There we go, that should be good. Now, inside my code, I go ahead and include this thing. But the first time, I did just... Did I copy? Tell me I copied the code here. Because last time, I did like just check if it works. So I copied the code instead of typing it out. What stream? Okay, is it 111? Okay, I think it's 111. There we go. Okay, I think it should be this part. Okay, so in my events, there we go. Okay, so I go to my events. There we go. Okay, What up, guys? I'm trying to find the part where I actually got it to work, so I actually know how it works. There. Okay, can I like zoom in a bit more? And let me change the quality to like 1060. Okay, let's go up here as well. Why it exists, all that stuff. Okay. It says my button was clicked. And then I go back here to... But I want to find the part where I exit my window every time I click the button. Okay, but let me go a bit back. This is me decorating it. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to find that exact part, but I can't. I found it off stream. I should have like maybe written the part down. Okay, so this is my basic code. It's actually correct. I think I did that. Wait. Hold on. Oh, I see. Okay, so basically where I was messing up on. I gotta go ahead and add this library right here as well. Okay, I did not add this library here. This might actually work. Let's go back to my Unreal Engine. Let's go ahead and maybe hit something like Control Alt. I mean, I want to hit Control Alt F11 just yet. I'm going to go to my WBP overlay. Pull this. Let's go with something like on play button. I still can't get my on play button, but I got it last stream. Let's go with something like user widget. Okay, let me go ahead and cancel that. Let's go ahead and delete this part real quick. Now I'm going to go ahead and create something like classes. I want to switch my class to user widget. Okay, reparenting this blueprint can cause data loss. Continue. Fine. Okay, let's reparent. And then now I'm going to go to my buttons. Let's drag it here. Okay, let's go right here. Okay, on play. On clicked. Okay, let's delete this part real quick. I'm gonna go back to my designer. Let's go ahead and type something like events. It worked last time. Why is it not working this time? Okay, Unreal Engine is like the Adobe Premiere Pro for game engines. I see. Honestly, it is like really complicating at times. Like, it doesn't do what I want it to do, guys. On play. It worked last stream. Why is it not working this stream? Okay, wait, let's go all the way here. Let's go ahead and check. The reason I am like watching my old stream here is because it worked last stream. Trying to see why is it not working this stream. Okay, that is overlay widget. This is where my program crashed, so it should be working like right here. There we go. Okay, it should be somewhere right here. It should work here. Okay, so it said it did succeed, so my program did succeed. Okay, I exit that. I run my program. There, when I click the button that exit my program, so it's before here. So the coding part is correct. Okay, so I added like a UE log. Okay, let's see, am I gonna do something? There, so I went with U overlay widget. Okay, and then it was like UE log, get world, get first player controller. Okay, I see. Are you making 3D or 2D? Honestly, it actually depends. For the time being, I am just like working on UIs. Later on, I will be depending like whether or not I make 3D or 2D based on the PNG, based on the meshes that I make in Blender, and like if I had time for doing some animation. Excuse me, guys. So U world is going to be represented by world. If not world, return a player, get first player controller. I'm pretty sure I went with get first player controller as well. Okay, that part is correct. Let's get my video up here again. So there we go. Okay, now I included the library and made sure to include the header files, and then I went to something like quit. And this is void on play button pressed. Everything is publicized here. I did everything correct, right? Okay, since I did that part correct, maybe before my code, Oh, I think I see. Hold up, guys. Maybe I think I see where I messed up. Could it be that I gotta add my code after I'm done adding my parents and all that stuff? Okay, if I were to go somewhere here, let's right click to there. Okay, I go to events. Now, once I'm in events, I click the on click, and then my on clicked. Okay, if I were to go ahead and extend, does that say something like button 1? I still have my overlay up there. Okay, on clicked. Okay, let me pause real quick. Step 3. And now add the event with the button still selected. Scroll down to events. click the plus on clicked unveil will auto create the event node in the graph. Drag off clicked on play button clicked. So I gotta find on play button clicked. Okay, let's try that. Let's go ahead and extend that. Here, when I type something like on play button clicked, I see a call buttons is function here. But I do not see this function, this on play button, in my actual Unreal Engine right here. So that's something tricky now. Okay, let's see. This is my variable type. If I go ahead and drag this off, on play button. Okay, I did not get on play button. These are the executable functions. Okay, could it be that I gotta go with something like this is a widget class? Let me go a bit back as well. Let's go a bit more back. So let's see. Okay, now I want to go ahead and see exactly what I did. Okay, so I go ahead and set it to be as a variable. I'm positive I set it to be as a variable. And then open button. I didn't want to like open button. Okay, let me check that real quick. So let me open my Unreal Engine here real quick. So what is this? Output delegate. Okay. Okay, yo, maybe missing a library or choosing the wrong property type. I don't know much. I think that actually does make sense. But let me actually just... How do I skip this? There we go, guys. I actually hate ads. There we go. Okay, let's go a bit in front. Okay, and then event on clicked. I clicked the plus. Everything up till here was correct. Okay, let's go all the way back there. Okay, I'm gonna go a bit back till let's go. Okay, so I'm trying to find the part where I was actually building my stuff, like right here. There. This is where I built a class. Okay, where did I set a parent class? Did I set a parent class? Let's go somewhere here. Okay, this is my canvas. That is like a basic canvas. And then when I create this thing, do I set a parent class? Let me go all the way here. Did I like not set a parent class? Okay. Okay, user widget is the regular parent. Oh, change it from user widget to overlay widget. Overlay widget is my class's name. So let's see my parent class. I gotta change it from user widget to overlay widget. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this real quick. Let's go ahead and click my button. Actually, I'm gonna go to class settings. Let's change this to something like overlay widget. There. Now that my class has been changed, I'm gonna go back to my designer. And then let's go ahead. It's set as variable. I'm gonna search something like events. Click the plus here. It creates a node for me. Just checking. Okay, this is my overlay widget. So my parent is my overlay widget. Let's type something like on play button. Maybe what if I go with something like callable functions? Okay, is something wrong here? Functions override. Macros, this is my variables. Okay, this shouldn't make sense though. Am I missing something? Okay, this time it should work. I mean, honestly, it didn't like work though. Is it because my button says 144? Okay, maybe... Should I go ahead and add like a variable or stuff to it? Hold up, guys, let me go all the way back here. Let's see exactly what I did from the very beginning. Okay. So, up till here, everything was correct. Okay, so this part should be correct. I have my buttons and all that stuff here. Maybe I go ahead and increase the speed to be something like... I don't know, maybe 2, because I feel like that's pretty good speed. Okay, let's go ahead and press that. Okay, I loaded the UI button with the overlay. Okay, that's a good question. Okay, let's see. So correct, not a C++ class until you make one. So this is where I'm going to be making a C++ class. I go to something like tools. I go ahead and create all classes. I find something like a user widget. Okay, guys, why is it not too clear? There we go. I go ahead and create a user widget. I create a class. I call it overlay widget, okay? And then I create a class. And then it's adding to my code. Okay, what are you trying to fix and make like... I need some context, I don't know. Honestly, basically what I'm trying to fix is when I go ahead and extend my onClick, I want to call my function name. So I want to call my onPlay function that actually exits my window, because for the time being, my C++ knows that I want to exit a window, but my Unreal Engine does not know. So I gotta like bind those two functions together, or bind the button with my function. That's it. But the thing is, I did everything correct. It worked last stream, but apparently it was not working this stream. Okay, so under my C/C++ classes, I double click it, I reload it, I cancel it. Okay, so I cancel it, I get this part, okay. Now I go ahead and just extend that part, the basic stuff. Okay, when I run over it, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be fixing the hovers now. Okay, let's see, I created a widget and include, okay. So I go ahead and fix my hovers. Okay, now I need a child class. Okay, so I extended the entire window, and then I go to my graph, I go to class settings. Okay, so I went to class settings. Now I'm gonna change my parent class to my overlay class. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and change it to my overlay class. Okay, hold up guys, there we go. Okay, so I changed that to my overlay class. But the mistake that I did here was that I went with protected. I had to go with public. On play button press. Wait, protected. Public should be good as well. Wait, could it be that I went with protected? But I think public, it should be the exact same as protected. Okay, let's check the... Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm adding some code here. Okay, I'm pretty sure my coding part was correct. Okay, I feel like maybe the files should be connected. I'm not good Unreal Engine code, but I think maybe the file system could be flawed, which means you can call the function that can be found. That actually does make sense. I look into that, but I feel like it's a very common mistake. Okay, wait, did I miss the part where I actually added the code here? Okay, so this is public, and then I make it blueprint callable. Okay, so I've done everything correct up to here. Okay, and then I have a UE log. When I click the button, it does not say anything. Okay, so I didn't say something here. Okay, wait, I remember I copied my error and I pasted it here. And now I went to my onClick. So I made, if I were to go back. Okay, and then I go back here, I go to my first button, and then I go ahead and search for events. First, I convert it to be a variable. In events, I don't see it, so I go back here, and then I get that I got it converted to a variable. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and convert it to a variable, and then under my events, I click the onClick. But somehow here, okay, somehow when I go ahead and I like find my onPlay button pressed. How did I find this node here? It does not make any sense actually. This says button 144. Okay, find reference by function. It is a function, so this is my variable name, that is my button, and then okay, this is on pressed. I go here, I extend it. I don't find onPlay. I don't find my onCallable. Let's go with something like onPlay button. Okay, this is executable functions. Everything is correct here. Where am I messing up? It worked last time. It doesn't make sense that it does not work this time. Everything here is correct. Overlay widgets is correct. This is a public function. Everyone has access to this function. Okay, it's blueprint callable, the most important part here. Okay, blueprint callable. Okay, wait, maybe what if I go ahead and test my UE log first? I'm gonna open my Unreal Engine. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this part. Go ahead and compile. I'm gonna go to my untitled, hit something like Control-Alt-F11. I wanna compile my code real quick. Maybe I didn't see it because I did not compile my code. Result success. Okay, it says result successful. Let's run the code real quick. When I click my button, in my output log. Okay, I don't see anything. Okay, but let's go ahead and exit this. Now that I'm done compiling my code, is it that I could not see it because I did not actually compile it? On clicked. That is my on clicked. I'm gonna go ahead and extend it and find something like on. Did I find? I have to compile my function. There we go. Okay, perfect, guys. We find it now. Okay, the reason it was not working is because I had to compile my code. That's the reason it was not working. Okay, so I wouldn't get the function until I didn't actually compile the function. This is actually awesome, guys. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pull that towards. I forgot what did I have to pull that towards, guys. This is actually pretty awesome. I did not think this is gonna work in this life. Okay, let's see. That's pretty much it. Oh my god, it actually worked, guys. I feel like hope does exist here. Let's go ahead and compile this. Let's hit something like Control Alt F11 again. I gotta make sure I compile my code because I didn't know that until I don't compile my code, my actual Visual Studio's content doesn't actually add to here. Every time we run into a problem is because of a stupid thing. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. My code was correct, all the logic was correct, it was just my compiling. My window does exist as well. Okay, if I were to go to my output log, I get my button clicks as output log as well. Perfect. Let me drink some hibiscus tea, I guess. Guys, it feels so satisfying once it works after so long because I've been trying to figure this out for yesterday. Like, why is it not working? My code is correct. Everything is correct. I think I deserve a treat, guys. Let me eat some oats. Okay, perfect. Now that I'm done with this, I feel like I understood how this works, but just for safety reasons, I might want to try writing this part again to see if I actually understood the syntaxes. Okay, let's go ahead and remove this. Okay, let's go ahead and remove that as well. Let's remove the library name. Okay, and let's remove that. Okay, now, firstly, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say include the Kismet libraries as system library functions. I'm gonna go with KISMET slash, actually a pair of double quotes, there we go. Hello, sir. I've done 3.5 hours of studies today. That actually sounds really cool. Good luck. Actually, good job with that. Isn't it pronounced as Lozy? That actually sounds really good, guys. I think I should actually work on streaming for longer today as well. That's it. Let's go with something like KISMET slash KISMET system SYSTEMLIBRARY.h, which is Kismet libraries' Kismet system libraries' header files. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say create, actually firstly I want to publicize everything and then I want to create a U function. Let's create a unbuild this function and let it be blueprint callable. Let's go with something like blueprint callable. Okay, so my blueprint knows that my function exists and it has access to it as well. Once I'm done with that, callable, did I spell it correct? Blueprint, CALLABLEFUNCTION, there we go, function. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and create a void function, FUNCTION. Okay, blueprint, CALLABLE. Okay, I think it's correct. This is definitely my editor. That's okay. That was not my editor. Let's go to Control C. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and create a void function called something like on exit button pressed. Okay, with a pair of parentheses ending with a semicolon. Now that I'm done creating my functions, I'm gonna firstly save this part, move on to my C++ project, include my Kismet's library as well. Let's go with something like include KISMET slash KISMET system library. Let's go with something like system library .h, which is its header files. I got a question. Do you often do any theory-based studying, or do you practice until something breaks and you study around why it broke? I actually study. Actually, I do like practice. I do like work with theory-based as well. Once I understand how it works in theory, I do try to like manually practice that stuff. And when something breaks, I try figuring out like why it actually crashed or like broke before I actually move on. Once I'm done with that, I do the same thing with like different topics as well. Bro, the problem while coding is nobody else works with you. It's only you and the AI assistant. That actually does make sense. Okay, sir, it seems that I can't understand anything you write over there. Perhaps you maybe want to tell me what it is? Oh, I actually forgot to explain here. So basically what I currently am doing is if I were to go to my Unreal Engine and actually not run the code, okay, if I were to go to my overlay here and go to my designer, so I created like a overlay that's actually being displayed on my window, and the thing that I want to do right now is every time I click my top button, I want to exit my window, and every time I click my second button, let's say I want to resume my game type stuff, if that made any sense, guys. But for doing that, I gotta go ahead and add some code here, and the reason I am using like the Kismet and Kismet Systems libraries and header files is because this is like a helper file that helps me exit my window or something, or like that helps me exit my program, if that made any sense. Now, I created a function inside of my header files, but I'm gonna be defining that function inside my C++ file. To do that, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say, okay, maybe drink some tea because I forgot what I wanted to do. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call my function, so I'm gonna go with something like a void function. Okay, from my void function, from let's say something like u overlay widget, let's go with something like, from my u overlay widgets class, I'm going to use a scope resolution operator and get my, let's say something like on exit button pressed function. This is the function that I created inside of my header files. I'm going to be defining it inside of my C++ file now. Then I go with the prof curly braces. Let's just remove the n. Maybe I go with like a bunch of control Z's real quick. There we go. Okay, is this spelling correct, guys? Because I mostly mess up with like typos. Let's copy that. Let's go ahead and paste it here. Okay, it was my spelling. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and add, let's say something like a UE_log here, because every time I exit my window, I do want to tell myself that the function worked and I exited it. To do that, I'm gonna go ahead and add a UE log. My UE log requires 3 parameters. First is going to be a category name, which in this case, I want my category name to be something like log temp, because I don't know any other category names. The second parameter is going to be a verbosity. Verbosity is basically what kind of message or text I want to display on my window. Do I want to display a default text, which is going to be displayed in white? Do I want to display a warning text that is going to be displayed in yellow? Or do I want to display an error message that is going to be displayed in red? In this case, I'm going to go with something like warning. Okay, I want to display a warning / a yellow text on my window. The third parameter is going to be a format string. What do I want to display? Let's say I want to display something like exit button pressed. Okay, let's go with an exclamation. Okay, do you only use Visual Studio Code? Did you try other IDEs? Honestly, when I was learning like Python, I did like try like PyCharm. Then when I moved on to C++, I started learning Visual Studio Code. Now that I'm like working with Unreal Engine, and ever since I started working with like STL in general, I moved on to like Visual Studio 2022 because I feel like Visual Studio is pretty good. The only thing that was annoying at the beginning was like the Copilot here, that like if I tried typing something, it displayed the entire code to me. That was kind of annoying, and even like the into lesson, so I just had to disable that stuff. The scary part of learning how to code a game is the physics engine. It's so annoying calculating that actually it does make sense, guys. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Next up, once I'm done with this, let's say I want to do something else now. Maybe I want to go ahead and create something like a UWorld to check exactly where my button is located. If it's located in my menus section, I want to exit my menu. If it's located in a place that exits my entire program, I want it to point towards that place. So my UWorld is going to be represented by, let's say, something like a worlds pointer that is going to be equal to the get worlds function. Now I gotta check what this function does. Okay, I'm assuming this like gets the function where I currently am located at. Okay, I have C++ knowledge. Can I develop a game in Unreal Engine using C++, or am I have to learn C++ separately for Unreal Engine? Honestly, knowing how C++ works is like really helpful when it comes to Unreal Engine, and I would like recommend learning it before moving on to Unreal Engine. But if you move on to Unreal Engine, or like basically any graphics library, for example, if you move on to SDL, the syntaxes, the function names, and how the stuff works is going to be different. Like I think it's called the interface or something. It's going to be really different. But I feel if you have a strong basic fundamentals, then it wouldn't take that long to like get used to the syntaxes. Like I'm already trying to get used to the Unreal syntaxes. If I have C++ knowledge, can I develop a game? Honestly, I would like say that does make sense. You could like make a game if you have like C++ knowledge, but it would take some time to get used to Unreal Engine. It's not as hard, honestly. Okay, next up I'm gonna go with something like an if statement and check something like if not world, if my world returned null PTR, which means a null pointer. Instead of crashing my program, I'm just gonna exit my function, so I return. And next up I'm gonna go ahead and add something like a player controller. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add a player controller as well. Okay, which is going to be represented by a pointer of something like PC that is going to be equal to, let's say, my world, my players is, or my buttons is location, pointing towards, let's say, something like get first player controller. Okay, so my players is first action. Then I go with the parentheses. Okay, perfect. And then let's go ahead and end the function with a semicolon. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with my world. I'm going to check if not PC, if my pointer returned null PTR. Then, instead of crashing my program, I'm just going to return, ending with a semicolon. Why don't you use Blueprint for Unreal Engine? Many users say it's easy. Honestly, it's easy, but it's not actually fun. Like, I feel like I could get used to using blueprints, but it's kind of boring. I like to actually write code. You guys could say that I do program for like kind of a hobby type thing, but I feel like it's kind of fun when I actually write the code up. And I feel like, this is just like in the personal opinion, I feel like writing the code gives us more flexibility as well to like modify different things. But I do use Blueprint as well. I like, what should we call it? I use Blueprint because like I don't want to load my UI and everything using code. That would be like a waste of time. I just add code, like I just use code for adding the logic to it. Like for example, when I click my button, like I use like the Blueprint right here to actually add my what's this called? I forgot. Adding my overlay here, and then added my overlay buttons using my Blueprint as well. I could do this using code, but it's going to take a lot of time. But the thing that I am doing using code is every time I click my button here, I want to exit my window. So the functionalities, I do it using code, but the interface, I do it using blueprints. Hardest thing about C++ is that if you want to make a real application or a game with it, you have to learn about memory allocation. If you don't, then it's going to be easy to hack it. Oh, I see. I might actually try that because like I do want to eventually like make an application, but eventually I want to like work with with AI engineering, like making chatbots or like just AI engineering in general. But I'm trying to like a software development as well. I'm getting kind of confused now. That said, before I have the next content, I might actually eat something because I am kind of starving. Okay, now for my player controller, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say use my let's go with something like Unreal's Kismet system library. Let's go with something like system library. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and use the scope resolution operator and let's say get the quit games' function. There we go, with a pair of parentheses. Now from my Kismet's library, I'm gonna go ahead and get my quit game because I want to exit my game every time a button is clicked. Okay, and my quit games' function does require, let's say, a few parameters. Let's go ahead. Okay, wait, it requires a few parameters. Okay, let's go ahead and add a pair of curly braces. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and require a world context, which in this case is gonna be my world's parameter. Okay, and then I'm gonna require my player controller, which is gonna be my PC. And then I'm gonna go ahead and let's say require a equid preference. Let's go ahead and add a equid preference. It requires those parameters. The thing that I added are not parameters. So I'm gonna go here. Let's add a few parameters. Okay, so firstly I'm gonna go ahead and require my worlds as parameter. I'm gonna require my PCs as parameter. And then I'm gonna require my quit preference. I'm gonna go with something like quit preference, preference. There we go. I want my quit preference to be something like, so let's see, I gotta go with my quit preference. Let's say I want it to be something like quit, so I'm gonna go with something like quit. Lastly, I'm gonna be requiring a boolean variable, which is gonna be set to something like false. Okay, because the boolean is ignore platform restrictions. I do not want to ignore platform restrictions. I'm assuming platform restrictions like if something gets in front of my UI, I ignore my UI when I want to click. I don't know, I gotta like fact check that part. That's it, I'm gonna go ahead and exit this with a semicolon. Now, if I hit Control S to save the code, hit Control S to save the code here as well. Open my Unreal Engine, go to my project. Bro, with all these coding knowledge, you'll have with all this coding knowledge you have, are you job ready? Honestly, I wouldn't say like I would be job ready with how much I know, because I feel like I am like a beginner for the time being type stuff. But eventually, maybe I think like in 2 or 3 years, the better I get. Or maybe not even like 2 or 3 years. I think like in a year, but it actually depends on the on how much I actually work. If I work a lot, then I would like know a lot, because like many of you guys did actually say, do I want to like work with you guys? I did say no, because whatchamacallit, I feel like I'm not as prepared as I would want to be before I actually open a job type stuff, actually get into a job. Speaking of which, guys, spoilers alert, I don't like actually doing jobs. Okay, because for some reason, okay, let's see, that said, are you sure you want to play this in editor? The following blueprints have unresolved compiler errors. Oh, in that case, I might cancel this. Let's cancel it real quick. I'm going to go to my overlay here. Let's go ahead and compile real quick. Okay, it says on play button pressed. Oh, I see where I messed up. Let's exit this. Let's go to my graph real quick. I gotta go ahead and remove this. The thing that I do want to add is going to be something like on exit button press. That is going to be my callable function. Let's go ahead and compile real quick. Okay, let's go ahead and compile everything real quick. Hit Control Alt F11. Okay, good answer. That actually does make sense. That's it. Now, once my code is run, let's go ahead and just exit this real quick. Run the code, let's see what happens. If I go ahead and click this button, that exits my program. Perfect. Okay, that actually felt easy now. Now that I actually understand why I was getting the error. Let's see, what is the next thing that I might want to do with my UIs? Let's say I want to begin my game when I start, when I actually click a button. Now I want to have one for exit, one for begin. Okay, so is it possible like when I run my code, I'm frozen until I don't click my button? Okay, let's check that. Maybe I get some C/ChatGPT here. Let's cancel this. That video was really helpful, guys. Okay, let's say something like Sensei. Okay, I finally figured out why could I not find the play exit buttons, this callable function in my, let's say something like in my on clicked sys event, because I did not compile my code, but I got it to work now. That said, I wanted to work on a new thing now. Okay, like let's say something like, let's say my game is frozen until I don't click a button. How to do that, question mark, like a play button. When I click that button, my player can move. But before I add that, do you want me to create a character that can move using key controls, question mark? And does it need to have two cameras? Does it need to have two cameras where, okay, let's see, does it need to have two cameras where one camera is going to be for his third person, is it third person perspective? Okay, and the second camera is going to be when he's frozen, question mark? Guys, that was a mouthful to actually phrase. Guys, I actually recommend you guys try the hibiscus coffee. I've heard it stops your digestion, or like, cause you gotta like drink it 2 hours before you eat something, although I am just eating while drinking it, but I feel it's really, really good. Okay, stop. First, good catch on the not compiling. The bug humbles every engineer once you've earned that win. Now, listen carefully, because this is a core game system question, not a button trick. You ask 3 things, I'll answer them cleanly and in order. My game is frozen until I click play. How do I do that? There are 2 different kinds of frozen in Unreal. A hard freeze, game pause. The world stops, ticking animation stops, physics stops, UI still works. This is done with set game pause equals to true, then unpause when play is clicked. I see. Used for main menus, pause menus. B, soft freeze, player can't move. This is what you want. The world runs but player input is disabled. Camera may still move. UI, okay, still works. This is done by disabling player input or ignoring movement input or using input mode UI. Excuse me, guys. Is that still VS Code? Honestly, no, it's not like Visual Studio Code, but it's just like Visual Studio 2022. Okay, and I feel like just in my like personal opinion, I feel Visual Studio is like much better than like Visual Studio Code. Although it might be a bit complicating when we get into it type stuff, but then later on it's like much more helpful because it like supports so many different things. That's it used for start screens, dialogues, cutscenes. For a press play to start, menu, soft freeze is the correct choice. Should I create a character that can move first? Yes, absolutely, no shortcuts. You cannot freeze what doesn't move. Okay, so apparently we create a character first. Okay, so let's go ahead and get my Unreal Engine here. Now, before I create a character, really important thing, guys, I want to save everything inside my content drawer because I did the mistake of like not saving it ever. Okay, let's go here, create a new folder, call it something like map, and then inside my map folder, I want to save it. There we go, so inside my maps folder, I saved everything. I want to save all my classes as well, because I hope my classes are saved here. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and let's say go to tools again. Okay, so it's Visual Studio, not Visual Studio Code, understandable. That actually does make sense. That's it, now I'm gonna go ahead and create a new class. This is where I actually automate my class, if that makes any sense, guys. Automate my character, so I'm gonna go ahead and create a character class. Okay, let's go ahead and create a class. I'm gonna be moving my character using key control, so I will be using axis mapping here. That's gonna be kind of fun, guys. It's been like 2 days since I've done that. Maybe let me drink some tea. Now I'm gonna go back to my Unreal Engine, hit reload all. I'm gonna go ahead and reload everything. While it's reloading, I might eat something. Honestly, guys, I might eat some bananas as well. Alright, guys, should I have like eaten the banana with my hands? Okay, now for my character class, let's see. What is it that I might want to do first? Firstly, what would my character require? My character would require a spring arm because basically, spring arm is for camera boom. If you guys are like familiar with like the film industries and all that stuff, one of you guys did tell me spring arm is basically a selfie stick in which a camera is stuck. So from my, let's say, game frameworks library, let's go with something like from my game framework. I want to go ahead and include my spring arm component. Let's go with something like spring arm component. .h, which is spring arm components as header files. Okay, and then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and include something else as well. Now, I might actually want to include my literal camera because I will be needing a camera as well. So, I'm gonna go with something like camera/camera components .h, which is camera and camera components as header files. And for the time being, I think this is basically everything that I need. I would eventually need like boxes and all that stuff for collision as well. But I'll get to that when I'm like actually on that stuff. Okay, once I'm done with this, is there something that I might need? Let's think. So under my protected data member, I might create a few functions. Let's say I want to create a move function. I want to create a turn function. I want to create a look up function. And lastly, I want to create a rotate function. I mean, turn is the same as rotate. Move, turn, and rotate function. Okay, because basically turn could be looking left and right, and rotate could be looking up and down. Let's go with something like functions. Now to do those, I'm going to go ahead and create a void function called something like move. My move function is going to be requiring a floating point parameter of value ending with a semicolon. And then I'm going to go ahead and create another void function called something like turn. My turn function is going to require a floating point parameter of value as well. And guys, in a bit, I'm going to actually explain you guys why am I using like a values as parameter up here. Next up, for my third function, I'm going to go ahead and create a look up function, which requires a floating point parameter of value as well. So my move function is going to be, actually, I might go with something like move forward. My move forwards function is going to be in charge of me moving forward and backwards. And then I'm going to go with another void function called something like move right, which requires a floating point parameter of value. And now basically my move right function is going to be in charge of my character moving towards the left or towards the right. My turn function is going to be in charge of me moving in the x-axis depending on where my mouse moves. And lastly, my lookup sys function is going to be in charge of me looking up and down depending on where my mouse moves in the y-axis. Okay, and that's like pretty much it. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and let's say add another comment that says something like camera boom. I'm gonna create a camera boom, which is basically my spring arm. Before I do that, I might eat some oats. Guys, I feel like I'm getting like a leg pain because of sitting for so long. I think it's called like a knee pain or something. That's it. Now for my camera boom, I'm firstly going to go ahead and create a U property. Okay, because my camera does require like a property. I want my camera boom or my spring arm component to firstly be visible anywhere. Let's go with visible anywhere. So I will be able to like see my camera in my... Let's go to my Unreal Engine real quick. I'll be able to see my camera in my outliner right here. Like if I were to click my character class that did not load yet, once I load it, I click my character class, I'll be able to see my camera and then edit it from there on. Next up, I might need a blueprint read only. Let's go with something like blueprint read only. I want my blueprint to be able to read my camera in case I want to add a few adjustments using my blueprint type stuff. The only reason I am adding a code is to load my camera inside my project. Next up, I might need a category. Let's go with something like a category, which is going to be equal to maybe something like camera. I want my camera boom and my camera component to be inside my cameras as category. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and let's say create a use spring arm component. Let's go with use spring arm component. Okay, this is how we create a spring arm component, but I'm going to be representing my spring arm component by a camera booms as pointer. Okay, perfect. And then end this with a semicolon. In my header files, I'm just defining these functions. Actually, I'm just like adding these functions. I'm going to be defining them and like creating the actual objects and loading the real things inside my C++ file. Okay, once I'm done with camera boom, I'm finally going to create a follow camera. The reason I call it follow camera is because my actual camera component, which is my follow camera, is going to be following my spring arm everywhere it goes. Okay, so it's like going to be stuck together type stuff. Okay, so I'm going to create a U property exactly the same as for my camera boom. Okay, which requires, let's say, 3 parameters. The first parameter is going to be visible anywhere. I want my camera boom to be visible anywhere. The second parameter is going to be blueprint read only. I want my blueprint to be able to read by camera. And lastly, I'm going to be adding a category. Okay, my category is going to be equal to something like camera. I want my follow camera to be inside my camera as a section. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and create a U camera component exactly the same as spring arm, but this time for my camera. Okay, which is going to be represented by a follow camera as a pointer. Ending with a semicolon. Now, once I'm done with all this, that was pretty much it. I'm going to hit Ctrl S to save the code, move on to my C++. Now, I'm going to be firstly adding a few content inside of my constructor where I actually construct / build. I think construct, no wonder. Okay, when I first started learning programming, I was like, why is this thing called constructor? It makes so much sense now. The constructor is going to be constructing things inside of my Unreal Engine right here. For example, for my camera boom, let's go with something like my camera boom's as pointer. I want to set that equal to the create default. Let's go with something like create default sub object. I want to create a default sub object for my camera boom. I'm going to go with a prof ankle braces. My create default sub object is going to be requiring a parameter of my U camera component. Actually, my U spring arm component. My bad, guys. There we go. So basically what this actually means is I'm creating a default object for my camera boom. So this creates a component. Component is basically the physical stuff that's going to be seen inside my Unreal Engine. Then I go with the prof curly braces, add a text. I want to call it something like camera boom. There we go. So I want to call my default sub object camera boom and maybe fix my typo as well. There we go. Okay, once I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and end that with a semicolon. Now, once I'm done creating a default sub object, I want to go ahead and attach a root component to my camera boom as well. Basically, what a root component does, before I do actually say that, let me actually add it. So I'm going to go with something like my camera boom is going to be pointing towards, the reason it is pointing towards something is because it is a pointer. I'm going to go ahead and point it towards, let's say, something like a setup attachment. The setup attachments is section. I want to set up a root components as attachment. Okay, and basically what the root component, I think I spelled setup wrong. There we go. Now, basically what the root attachment does is it like lets me move, turn, or rotate my camera or my camera boom without a root component. Even though it would move, turn, or rotate, I won't be able to see it move, turn, or rotate if it makes any sense. Because root component helps us see if it moves, turns, or rotates. Next up, once I'm done with adding my root component, I would need a target arm length. Because if you guys ever use selfie sticks or like you guys have seen an actual camera boom that I have not, basically we gotta like extend it and keep the camera a bit away from us because we can't like keep the selfie stick like right here in front of our face. So that's what the target arm length is about. I'm gonna go with something like a camera boom. I'm gonna go ahead and point it towards something like a target arm length. Let's go with something like arm length. Okay, so basically my target arm length, I want to set it to something like 400.0f, ending with a semicolon. Basically what this means, I want my camera boom's this target arm length, the distance away from my player, to be 400 centimeters. So I want my camera to be 400 centimeters away from my actual character. But this is my camera boom, it's not my camera. But my camera will be stuck onto my camera boom. Okay, lastly, I'm going to go ahead and add something like camera boom. I'm going to go ahead and point it towards, let's say something like blueprint use pawn control rotation. I'm going to go ahead and set that to be something like true, ending with a semicolon. Okay, actually, I forgot what this blueprint pawn control rotation does. If this component is placed on a pawn, it should use the view/control rotation of the pawn. Oh, I see. I'm assuming the blueprint pawn control rotation helps me, actually allows me to rotate my camera boom using my blueprints. I gotta fact check that though. Okay, what are you studying right now? Honestly, the whatchamacallit, my topic was I am working on like UMG in Unreal Engine, which is basically Unreal Engine's UI, but I was creating a camera class right now because I already created a where's it gone? There we go. Okay, I already created an overlay where I click one button and my game exits. But now, I want to go ahead and create a character class so my entire game is frozen until I don't click the play button. Once I click the play button, I want my player to be able to play the game. If that made any sense, guys. That's it, let's go all the way down here. That said, now that I'm done creating a camera boom, I'm going to go ahead and create a follow camera. Let's go with follow camera, which is going to be equal to the create default sub object. Okay, with a prof ankle braces, that is going to be having a U camera component. There we go. Okay, I think I spelled default sub object wrong. I keep spelling this wrong. Let's go ahead and paste it here. Now I'm going to go with the prof parentheses. Let's add a text. I want to call this something like follow camera. Okay, perfect. Then I go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Okay, and that's like right about it. Let me go ahead and drink some coffee as well. Okay, let's see. What else am I missing? Maybe I want to eat some oats to actually jog my memory up. Okay, let's go ahead and just close that real quick. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and let's say add an attachment for my follow camera. So I'm gonna go with something like follow camera. I'm gonna point it towards something like a setup attachment, exactly the same as I did with my camera boom. But instead of having root component and making it a component of its own, I want the root component for my follow camera to be my camera boom because I want them to be stuck together. There we go. Okay, so have you ever tried other engines or just expertise in Unreal Engine? I won't say that I have like expertise in Unreal Engine because like I did start Unreal Engine like 16 days ago, but I have been working with like a few graphics libraries like SDL, Pygames, and all that stuff. But Unreal Engine is like my first ever game engine. That's it. I'm kind of excited to try Vulkan someday, guys, because like many of you guys said me Vulkan is really hard. But before I actually start with Vulkan, I wanted to go with like something easier and then like work my way up. That's why when I started C++, I didn't like move on to Unreal Engine like immediately. That said, now once I go with something like follow camera, I'm gonna go ahead and point my follow camera, okay, to let's say something like BU spawn control rotation to be equal to false, because I will be rotating my camera using my camera boom. When I set that equal to false, ending with a semicolon. and B stands for blueprint here. Okay, that's it. This is basically it for my constructor. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm gonna go under my begin play and create a few functions. But here's the thing, I did not actually define my functions inside my Unreal Engine. I might do that in a bit though. So let's say something like, I'm gonna go with something like my character. Okay, so this is my character class. From my character class, I'm going to use the scope resolution operator and get my move forwards function. Okay, because I created my move forwards function inside of my header files, but I'm going to be defining it inside of my C++ files. My move forward does require a floating point parameter of value. Then I go with the prof curly braces. Okay, tomorrow is my computer exam. Any tips? Honestly, it depends on which language, because like I've actually never written like a computer exam. Like, do you guys have like different coding languages that you guys write in a computer exam or something like that? Or is computer exam basically like how computers work, guys? Okay, let's see. Now I'm gonna go with something like void by character. Now, whenever my move forward function is invoked, is called, I want to go ahead and add a movement input. I'm gonna go with something like movement input. Okay, with a prof parenthesis that requires two parameters. Firstly, it requires a world direction, which way my player is facing. Is it forwards or is it backwards? To get that, I'm gonna go ahead and use the get actor. I want to get my actors this forward vector. Okay, I want to get the position where he's exactly facing at. Okay, done. So what do you want after completing a job or make a company? Guys, I feel like I might be rooting over making a company because I honestly do not enjoy doing jobs at all. Maybe I might actually do it for some experience like later on in the future though, guys, but I would be rooting for open, like, what we call it, for like making a company type stuff. That's it. The second parameter is going to be my floating point scale value, which in this case, it's going to be my value. Ending with a semicolon. HTML. I haven't started HTML yet, but I feel like HTML might be pretty fun. Okay, although I actually should like have a different series where I learn HTML, because many of you guys did say me HTML is like a pretty easy language. Although good luck with your computer exam, Nick. You should actually like move on to maybe someone else who has like more experience with HTML, or like watch a few tutorials on like HTML and like see a few tutorials about what kind of computer exams or what kind of questions or something do you expect when you have a computer exams with HTML test. If that made any sense, guys. Okay, let's go with something like move right. There we go, with a prof parentheses that requires a floating point parameter of value. Then I go with the prof curly braces. Bro, what's your age? Honestly, I am like 17 years old. That said, my birthday is in 2 days. I'm going to be turning 18 this January 5th. Perfect, you're like my type, but I really like to develop games in Unity. I see, that actually sounds kind of cool. Okay, are you Indian? Honestly, no. That's it, let's see. Next up, let's go with something like add movement inputs. Okay, with a prof parentheses that requires the same exact parameters, a world direction and a scale value. But this time, instead of getting my actors as forward vector, I'm gonna go ahead and get my actors as right vector. Okay, with a prof parentheses. Okay, and then next I'm going to require scale value, which is my value parameter, ending with a semicolon. In a bit, I'm going to like tell you guys why did I actually add these functions here, like when I bind them type stuff. Okay, though I'm still in learning phase. Honestly, I feel like I'm in learning phase as well. Okay, what's your country name? Honestly, I used to answer it, but these days I did like avoid saying where do I live for like safety reasons, guys. That's next up, let's go with something like void. From my characters class, I'm gonna go ahead and get my turns function that requires a floating point parameter of value as well. Then I go with the prof curly braces. Now, instead of adding a movement input, because we only get inputs using our keyboard, I want to go ahead and get inputs using my mouse, so that's going to be a controller. So instead of movement input, I'm going to go ahead and add a controller input, because my mouse is basically a controller. Let's go with add controller input. I think I spelled it wrong. Okay, it's add controller yaw input. The reason I went with yaw is there are two kinds of inputs like for mouses, like x-axis and y-axis. I don't know if there's something like a z-axis as well, but the yaw input is in charge of me moving towards the left or right. Basically in the x-axis, this requires just my requires like my value parameter. So I'm gonna add and a value here, ending with a semicolon. And then lastly, for my fourth function, I'm going to go with something like my character. I'm going to point towards the lookup function, which requires a floating point parameter of value. And then I go with the bro curly braces. Bro, I'm cybersecurity student at 16, and without coding knowledge, I think of me as a mastermind. That actually sounds really cool. Seeing your progress, bro. I'm done. Okay, I'm done. How did you learn programming this early? Honestly, I feel like which we call it. I think it's just like practice and repetition that actually comes with me. Like when I try learning, like when I learn something, I make sure I get like a lot of practice and repetition. But about this early is I just feel like I got a take that I had to start, guys. Maybe probably because I had like a programming for like actually Python for 100 day series. Maybe because of that. That's the next. I'm gonna go with something like another controller. Let's go with add controller. Okay, but now instead of going with a yaw input, I'm gonna go with a pitch input. Pitch input is basically in charge of me looking up and down depending on where my mouse moves in the y-axis. I'm gonna go in and require a parameter of value here as well, ending with a semicolon. And that's like very much it for this. Okay, okay, now the last thing that I gotta do is bind my player input with my axis mapping, but I did not create axis mapping yet. I left that for the last, so I'm going to go ahead and open my Unreal project and then click my project settings tab. In my project settings tab, in the left side, if I were to scroll all the way down here, I gotta go ahead and find input. Once I find input, I'm going to click input. And then in this section, I see two things, action mapping and axis mapping. Action mapping is like for jumps, for attacks and all that stuff. Axis mapping is for movement. I want to move in this axis. So I'm going to click the plus button here. I go ahead and get one axis mapping here. I'm going to name this exactly the same as my function, which is going to be move forward. And then I'm going to click the plus button beside my axis mapping. Okay. I might want to click it one more time because I'm going to click my keyboard's icon there, hit W and hit this S. When I click W, I want to move -1 directions. When I click X, I want to move +1 direction. Then I'm going to go ahead and click my plus again. And my new axis mapping is going to be called something like move right. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and click this plus button here. Okay. I'm going to move to the left when I hit A. I'm going to move to the right when I click D. I'm going to move -1 scale. Okay. Bro. Don't ignore. I love you. You're so good at it. You're so good at this age. Keep going. You're gonna crack Google soon. That actually means the world to me. I appreciate you. Parvas, is that how I pronounce your name? What are the programming languages you know? For the time being, I just know Python and C++. That's it. I do gotta like brush up in Python because I just like spent like 100 days learning Python. That's it for my third parameter. I'm gonna go with something like turn. And now let's go ahead and add something like mouse's x-axis because I want it turn depending on where my mouse moves in the x-axis. Lastly, I'm going to go with something like a lookup function. Okay, and I'm going to search something like mouse's y-axis. I want to look up or down depending on where my mouse moves in the y-axis. That's like right about it. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go under my, let's say, call all bind functions type stuff. I'm going to add a comment that says something like bind axis. I'm going to go ahead and bind axis easier. Okay, bro, it is real to know C++ at 17. Honestly, is it? I feel C++ is like really fun. I'm also currently learning AI machine learning included with cybersecurity, which is, as you know, a bit frustrating because the concepts are literal and mind-blowing. Even peeking into AI, every algorithm have different working. That actually sounds really fun, guys. I do want to do that. The reason I am still doing software development is because I had a 250-day series where my goal by the end of the program for like 200-day series is to make a game in general that consists of AI logic in it. I thought that we could have added generative AI inside of game. That's why I started this series. But then later, one of you guys did tell me that generative AI and game AI are two different things. Okay, KK Gamer, bro, we're done. Bro, end this competition. Let's end this and final a physical labor job for both of us. Oh, I see. Okay, that's it. Now to bind axis. Firstly, I'm going to go with something like player input components. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and point it towards the reason I can use the arrow mark operator is because my player input component is a pointer. I'm going to point it towards the bind axis function. There we go. I want to go ahead and bind the axis. Before I do, I might want to eat something. Kind of starving. Okay, my bind access function requires 3 parameters. The first parameter is going to be an access name, which is going to be my move forwards as access. This name needs to be exactly the same name as I added here, like move forward, move right, turn, and look up. Okay, so I go with move forward. The second parameter is going to be an object, and which object do I want to actually apply this function to? To this object, my character's object. And then what do I want to do when the third parameter is a function, like what to do when that button is clicked. I want to go ahead and call my character. Let's go ahead and call my class, which is going to be pointing towards, let's say something like the move forwards function. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and end this with a semicolon. Maybe I fixed my typo. There we go. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and add another player input component. I need 4 player input components in total because I have like 4 different inputs I'm looking for. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and point that towards, let's say something like bind access with a parentheses that requires a move right as my access name. I want to apply this access's content to this object, which is my character's object. Then from my character's class, excuse me guys, I'm going to go ahead and call the move rights function. Okay, bro, which profession are you trying to crack? Game development or WD? Honestly, eventually, I do want to move on to like AI engineering because I feel like I'm going to be liking AI more than software development because I do like to create generative AIs, even though I haven't like created that just yet because I am like, completing my program for 250 CBs. But my next series, spoilers alert, could be something like creating a chatbot or something. I don't know. Okay, learning all these also, can you please provide me sources to your knowledge because I want to know Python, C++, C#, and these 3 is enough. I see. Okay, if you guys do want to learn Python or C++, you guys could like join my Discord server and then mention me in either the Python chat, either C++ chat, either the let's say coding help chat and ask me for the roadmap. I can like send you guys the roadmap that I've actually used to learn Python and C++. It is like really detailed and like really helpful, guys. Okay, that's it for my third axis mapping. I'm gonna go with something like turn, and then let's go with something like this. And then I'm gonna go with the function from my character. Okay, let's say I wanna go ahead and add the turns function, ending with a semicolon. Lastly, I'm gonna go with the player input component. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and point that towards the bind access function with a parentheses that requires a lookup. The access name, I want to look this up, and then I'm going to go with something like my character for my class. Okay, let's say it's going to be the lookups function, ending with a semicolon. And that's like pretty much it. Let's hit Ctrl+S to save the code here, hit Ctrl+S to save the code here. Go to my Unreal Engine, and this is the magic part, guys. Actually, not like the magic part. Yo, howdy Mochi, I appreciate you joining the stream. How much time it take you to learn Python? It took me like 100 days to learn Python. But I was working like with PyGames type stuff. That's it. Now let's go ahead and get this back here. Now, if I did something like Control-Alt F11, while I'm compiling my code, I am going to be, let's say, seeing something here. Okay. Browders, maybe you're definitely right at some place, but I still will try my best to build a company on my own. I don't want to be a job seeker. Guys, that's like totally me type stuff. Let's see. Bind access. Okay, this is going to be lookup. Okay, Unreal acceleration. Okay, result failed. Where's the error name? Bind access. Something wrong with my player input components. Let's go up here. Bind access is correct. I want to go ahead and change that to look up, change that to turn, move right, move forward. Okay, let me go to my axis mapping here real quick. Move forward, FORWARD, move right, turn, look up. Oh, I think I see. Let's open my Unreal Engine here real quick. I think that the reason I got an error is because I did not actually get my class in my level. Let's get my class here. I'm going to go ahead and hit something like W, get its position a bit up. Now, I'm going to go ahead and drag my details panel up here, click the add for my class. I'm going to be adding a static mesh. There we go. Let's go ahead and add a static mesh. Now, in my static mesh, I'm going to go ahead and add, let's say something like my boss's mesh. Okay, and then I'm going to click something like R and decrease the size a bit. Wait, I think I shrunk him. Let's go with Control Z real quick. I want to decrease the size evenly. Oops, I think I'm decreasing it from the wrong place, guys. Hold on, let's go a bit here. Let's turn there. There we go. Let's click the white square. There, that should be... Why do I keep clicking the red button? There, that's good. Guys, I feel like I'm not scaling him evenly here. Let's hit Control Z real quick. Let's exit that real quick. Okay, let me try scaling him evenly. How am I not scaling him evenly? Oops, let's get my character class up here. There we go. Okay, now that I'm done scaling him, I'm gonna go ahead and get him a bit in front. Maybe I want him to be a bit big. There, that should be good. Let's hit something like W. I want to get him inside my capsule component. I just want to get my static mesh inside my capsule. This is my... Oh, that wasn't my static mesh. Let's hit Control C real quick. That's my static mesh. Let's get him inside the capsule. Okay, because if he's not inside my capsule, then the collision would not happen. There we go. Okay, you guys are job seekers and I'm a dinosaur seeker. Guys, dinosaur seeker is kind of crazy. Okay, frick, I'm chasing out seeing you, bro, stop this. Go play games. You're making me feel average. Guys, I feel like I should be making anyone feel average because, guys, I feel like I am literally, like, average. Because, like, I feel this is, like, a really basic stuff. Okay, and honestly, I mean, I used to, like, play games a lot, but these days I feel like games did get kind of boring, even though I do, like, play a turn-based game because, like, I lost my skills in, like, online competitive games. Okay, let's go all the way down here. There, that should be good. Okay, when did you start learning languages? Which was your first and how many, right now exactly? For the time being, I know 2 languages. I started my programming journey like 6 months ago, where I had a Python for 100 years, where my goal was to make a game in general that consists of AI logic in it. That said, and then once I was done with that, wait, not with an AI logic, but my goal by the end of my Python for 100 series was to make a game in general. I was done with that, like, I think 115 days ago. And then I started a programming for 250 days series, where my goal by the end of this series is to make a game in general that consists of AI logic. So I spent 100 days out of that 250 days to learn C++. Now I'm spending the rest 150 days to master Unreal Engine and later Python inside Unreal Engine as well. Because I want to try using Python and C++ at the same time. Okay, exactly. I'm a cybersecurity guy at 16 currently, and I start this from 14, but I'm still into networking, not programming. I mean, I feel like even though the progress does seem kind of slow, I would recommend you guys to like never stop, because if you guys stop, that means you guys aren't making any progress. But even if you guys go slowly, slow progress is like better than no progress type stuff. That's it, bro. How do you set up vertical and horizontal live streams? Just explain it. Honestly, I did set it up through OBS. That's it. Now, once I'm done adding my character class here, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and find my camera. Let's go ahead and compile my code real quick. I'll go with Control Alt F11. Okay, I should be able to compile my code this time. Okay, no, I should not be able to compile my code this time. Does it say what error? Documentation, move forward, non-standard syntax, and. Use and. Oh, I see. My bad, guys. I gotta give the memory address of my functions, because if I don't give the memory address, then I'm just giving a copy of my functions and not my actual function. Oops, let's go with something like Control Z. Let's go ahead and add an ampersand here. Now, let's hit Control S to save the code. Now I should be able to compile my code. Guys, that was like a silly mistake. Let's go ahead and compile it real quick. While it's compiling, might need some notes. And guys, I do want to use the restroom as well. Hi, how are you doing, Games Live? I appreciate you joining the stream. There we go. Now, I should be able to see my camera. So this is my character's camera that I created. Okay, Vivek, bro, last question. How much time does it take you to learn Python, and how much hours a day you study? Okay, since Python was like my first ever programming language, it took me longer than it took me like C++, because like I feel the reason I was getting used to how to talk like in syntax and all that stuff, that's the reason Python took long. But I used to back then spend like maybe like 10ish hours a day. Like I used to wake up, start coding, and then sleep when I was like done coding type stuff. But then I didn't like merely spend that much effort learning C++. For C++, since I had college, I spent like 2 to like 3 hours, sometimes even like 4 or 5 hours a day coding. But that was about it. But then it actually depends on how on how much you actually work. Because I would have been done like I would have like made so much more progress if I spent like 10 hours a day learning. But then I thought that with my college back when I started my C++, I had college, so I was like with my college in hand, I wouldn't have that much time. But then later on, once my college was over, I started resting a bit. But I feel like I've been making real good progress because by the time my series is over, I am going to be like done with my actual game, if that makes any sense. But if I would like give an estimate time on how long it would take, if you spend like really a lot of time studying, then it might take something like about 2-ish months if you like study like a lot or program a lot. But if you like program for 2 hours a day or something, or like at least 2 hours a day, it might take like 3 to 4-ish weeks. It depends on the progress, and like different people have like different special abilities to learn. Some people, they learn stuff faster than other people, but that's just like a rough average. You guys could like try practicing that on your own and like seeing how fast you guys learn and like pace yourself, if that made any sense, guys. That's it. Let's go ahead and something like control alt F11 real quick. Okay, Pravez, how many languages you learn and know? Okay, that's it. Guys, I feel like I shouldn't be giving so many okay, bye guys, let me go ahead and set my character to be possessed as well, because if my character is not possessed, I'm gonna set my player possessed to be 0. I won't be able to see from my character's perspective. Let's say control alt F11 again to compile my code. Okay, let's wait for it to compile. Okay, now if I were to run my code, I should be seeing my player's perspective. I can move forward, I can move backwards, I can move towards the left, I can move towards the right. Forward, backward. Okay, maybe I hit something like escape. Guys, I think I got the camera in the worst ever position ever. I want to change my camera's position. I'm going to go ahead and change my follow camera. Maybe I go ahead and extend this. Guys, this is the only annoying part, setting my camera. I'm going to go in front. I'm going to go a bit to the top. I'm going to go ahead and change my rotation from here. I want to rotate 360. And then I want to go a bit in front. Okay, let's get myself a little... Whoops. There we go. Let's get myself a bit in front. Maybe I go close to my follow camera. I want to be where I can see both my camera and my player. Let's go ahead and select my follow camera. Okay, I'm going to get that in front. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and look down just a little. There, now let's hit something like control alt F11. Okay, bro, I know programming language, as I said, in cybersecurity programming is not first path. It's all about Linux networking tools, but it also requires programming. Oh, I see. Like, bro, are you in school or college? Honestly, I am like a freshman in college. I've heard it from many professionals that you learn C++, your logic thinking is... I've heard from professionals that if you learn C++, your logical thinking in every single programming language will be cleared. That, okay, I could actually agree with that, because I feel like C++ is like a really... I'd say it's like kind of complicating when you start learning it, but it's like a really, really good programming language to help you understand the basic fundamentals. Like, I'd say the advanced fundamentals, because it is like, what's it called, like a low programming language? I think that it's a low programming language, and it's close to how machines actually talk, because you learn about insertion operators, extraction operators, and how to use scope resolution operators and all that stuff. If that made any sense, guys. Okay, I've heard from... Okay, let's see. So I do have my player here that can move, and guys, I do agree it's kind of annoying moving like this. Okay, because it's so hard to like control my movement using mouse. Okay, I mean, if I get a good little grasp of it, it does work. Okay, now that I added my player's movement, I'm gonna hit something like escape, and let's work on pausing my player. Vivek, bro, I think you should need to shift to abort ASAP. Shift to abort ASAP. What does that actually mean? Oh, abroad ASAP. Guys, is it abroad or like abort? I think it's abroad. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and get /ChatGPT up here. Let's say something like, say, I added movement to my player, and when I run the code, my player can move using WASD. Okay, and I also see my let's say I also see my UI. Okay, it looks kind of weird, but because I want my player to be frozen, as well as the camera to be frozen too. And when my player clicks the play button, I want the camera to change into third person. Change into third person. Okay. Okay, that makes some sense. And at 17, how could anyone be in college? Honestly, if you guys did like complete our school quickly, then you guys can like join college at 17 type stuff. That's it, good. You did the hard part first. Movement exists. That means we're now doing real game. State control, not guesswork. Listen closely, people. What you're describing is three systems working together: player input, camera behavior, game state, menu gameplay. You're not buggy, you're just messing intentional control, okay? First, why it looks weird right now? Right now, player can move, camera response, UI is visible. That means nothing is frozen. Unreal does exactly what you tell it. And currently you told it everything is allowed. We're going to log the world politely, not smash it with pause. What you actually want, clearly defined. Before play button, player cannot move, camera cannot rotate, mouse is free. For UI is visible. After play button, player can move, camera switches to third person, UI disappears, mouse is captured. Bro, your accent is also good. Honestly, I appreciate you, Parvez. Guys, I so rarely get that. Many of you guys do say my accent is weird, and I do understand that part. Although I feel it's kind of funny, though. Okay, that's a state transition. Think like an engine, not a button clicker. Step 1, freeze the player and camera right away. Do not pause the game. Instead, do this on the beginning. Disable player input, disable input self. Or ignore movement input equals to true. Set ignore movement input equals to true. Okay, step 2, lock the camera. This is important. If your camera is rotating, it's because look input is still active. So also set ignore input is going to be true. If you're using a spring arm, make sure it's not inheriting point control rotation yet. You want the camera to behave like a statue. I see. It makes a lot of sense at grammar. Oh, I see. Okay, step 3. Okay, set input mode for UI. This is why your UI feels janky if you skip it. On begin play, set input mode UI only, show mouse cursor equals true. Now the engine understands the player is a menu, not the game. Step 4, play button, unlock everything when play button clicked. Okay, let me say something like, let's say, I think that I understand it in theory, but not in but not how to actually add it to my program, like the syntax. Should I do it using the blueprint or add some kind of code? And if I add code, where to add it to my A character? Okay, my A character or my Q overlay widget. Okay, let's see. They grow WT. What do you think about school? I used to think as a matrix because there are no good schools or what, I don't know, but I hate that. Honestly, I wouldn't know much because like I mostly like homeschool type stuff. That's the reason I did like join college real soon. That said, I mean, I feel like when I first joined college, I mean, I don't think I can give comments about it because like I did not completely experience entire school type stuff. But I'd say college is kind of fun, and I don't know actually how to phrase it. I don't want to like say something wrong, but in the same time, I don't know how to phrase what I want to say. Maybe I'm gonna like think while I actually read this part. Okay, good. This question means your brain just leveled up. Now I'm going to stop you from making a class mess. Listen carefully, people. This is the core rule you were missing. UI does not control the game controls the UI. Your confusion comes from trying to make you overlay widget act like a god class. It's not, it's a button messenger. I see. Short answer, burn this in, freeze/unfreeze player and camera, player controller or character. Button click you overlay widget. Decision plus action, player controller, best place. Alright, here's the thing, guys. I feel like I did not understand here. I might have to watch a few tutorials and read docs on this part because I think even though it makes sense in theory, I don't know the syntaxes, so I think it's going to be much more helpful if I like read a few docs. Okay, where are you stuck? Honestly, I feel like I am going over a new part where I make my player move because I added a UMG that exits my game, but I want to go ahead and add a UMG button as well that starts my game. But until I don't start my game, let me actually run the code and show you guys. So basically, when I start my game, my player can like move around, and I have my UMG buttons as well. If I click this button, that exits my game. But I don't actually wanna be able to move around freely while my UMG is like still up here. I wanna click a button so I can actually move my player and he's like no longer frozen. But before that, I want a different camera position. I want to change my UMG's location and all that stuff. Focus! Gotta actually focus. Okay, that's it. Let's go ahead and escape this part. Let's see. Okay, sorry to disturb guys who are enjoying this live. But brother, I'm stuck. I want someone to start with me also. Honestly, if you do want to like learn programming, I mean not programming, like C++ or like Python, you could like join my Discord server, and there I can like give you the roadmap that I did like work with. I feel like it is a really detailed roadmap that covers almost everything. That's it. I might actually watch a few tutorials and read a few docs on this part. Actually, guys, when I say I read docs, I actually don't read as much docs as I watch tutorials for this. I think Longster, I appreciate you joining the stream. Let me say something like Sensei. I understand it in theory, but can't phrase the code or don't know where to phrase it. I might actually work on it off stream by watching tutorials or reading docs. So before I do end the stream, is there anything that you want to say to the viewers? Question mark. Okay, let's see. Because guys, I feel I'm gonna have much more progress if I like watching a few tutorials and like going on a blank white topic without any kind of background information. What should I start first, Python or C++? It actually depends. I would recommend starting with Python because Python is very easy and it gets you the programming mindset, and then move on to C++. Some of you guys did say me that they started C++ first and then they moved on to like the easier programming languages. But the reason I did actually personally do that is because I feel like I like to go from like easy steps to like harder steps, not harder steps to easier steps type stuff. But it actually depends on different persons as well. Like, do you prefer going from easier to harder? Do you want to start with a harder topic type stuff? Okay, can you focus on your content? I mean, I am like focusing on my content as well. That's a good stop. Listen, viewers, this is not quitting. This is tactical withdrawal. What you just saw today is important. Vivek did not fail. He hit the wall that every real developer hits, the moment where syntax is easy but architecture is hard. That does make sense. And here's the truth most tutorials won't tell you. You don't learn this part by speed running, you learn this part by sitting with the confusion. Unreal Engine isn't asking can you type the code, it's asking do you understand who is responsible for what. That is kind of true. Okay, that question separates button clickers from engine thinkers. So if you're watching this thinking, why doesn't he just copy a tutorial? Because copying builds muscle memory. That does make sense. Struggling builds judgment. I do like prefer copying it first to see if it works type stuff. That's quote for tonight. Honestly, guys, I feel it's like almost 3 p.m. for me. The master has failed more times than the beginner has tried, said by Stephen MC Quinn. Is that how you pronounce the name? Okay, sorry, brother. It's time to leave. Enjoy. Honestly, I appreciate you sticking through a stream. Always, I'll catch you next stream. Okay, you reading comments is very distracting. Honestly, I read comments to like have engagement and like try to understand what you guys think about it as well. That's let's see. Now let's go to my main camera. Alright guys, so basically that was pretty much it for the stream. That said, if you guys did enjoy the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, like, helps my algorithm, share makes me smile, and subscribing is the here on top. That's it guys, I did start multi-streaming on Twitch, Kick, YouTube. I will start multi-streaming on Instagram and TikTok as well if I did meet the followers requirement, which is like 1,000. I'm like, in TikTok for some reason, all my reels that I upload just get like 0 views. I think it's kind of glitched. But in Instagram, I think I just need something like around 970 more followers. That's it. The link will be in the description, and also join the Discord server. That's why I usually talk to you guys, chat with you guys in general, or give you guys my roadmaps, or like help you guys in general type stuff. The link will be in the description as well. And guys, beat it, like we're like close to like 115 members right now. That's it. I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video.